Okay, guys, on Unit 4, Lesson 4, and we are going to be talking about multiplying and dividing polynomials by a monomial or by another polynomial. When you're done with this, you can move on to the exponential property scavenger hunt. You can also get the take-home quiz and the review packet, and you'll have 3 days between in class and at home to complete all three things. So hopefully, more if you've been moving faster, more time if you need it, just let me know. So let's go ahead and get started on these notes. So for this fourth lesson, we're going to multiply and divide polynomials by monomials. And we're going to multiply polynomials by polynomials. The cool thing about multiplying and dividing polynomials is you get to use the distributive property. And so if I have a 4, I'm going to distribute it to the x and to the 7. And we've been doing that pretty consistent throughout the class. So this is 4x plus 28. And it doesn't matter what side it's on. You want to go ahead and distribute it to both. 10x minus 20. And then, of course, don't forget, when you have a negative, you go ahead and distribute the negative too. Negative 6x plus 15. Division works the same way. It's kind of like the butterfly idea. So, like, you distribute by, just dividing each part by whatever number's on the bottom. So this is 2x plus 5. So 30x divided by negative 5. Negative 6x, negative 45 divided by negative 5 plus 9. Same thing here. So I get negative 3/5 x plus 1/2. Okay, so we divide to make sure we keep it all straight. When we have a variable, we follow our exponent rules. So 6y is going to get distributed to the entire grouping. So 6 times 4 is 24. Y times y squared. And so remember, when we multiply, we add the exponents. Put the minus. 6 times 9. Y times y. You add the exponents. Put the minus. 6 times 7. Now, there's no y here, but there's a y here, so it's still y. And that's the most common mistake, is people will think, oh, there's no y there, so there should be no y here. No, you bring the y to the end, and you keep the y there. So that's the final answer. Go ahead and do these three, and then pause the video, and then we'll look at the answers. Okay, so we went ahead and finished 2 through 4, and here we have distributed of the negative. So it's negative 6m to the 4th, negative 21m cubed, 6x cubed plus 9x squared plus 15x, and then negative 6x to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 6x squared. And we're good to go. When we divide, the way that I like to help me do this is I will go ahead and put the x squared under all of the terms that I need to divide by x squared. And the rules stay the same. When you divide exponents, you subtract. So this is x to the 4th. Now, 5 divided by 1 is still 5. X to the 5th divided by x squared is x cubed plus, and then x 4th divided by x squared is x squared. So we want to make sure that we keep following. And if you notice, this went 6, 5, 4. When I divided it, 4, 3, 2. Okay, so it keeps going in the same pattern that our original went. For this one, you're going to have a coefficient, so we're going to divide. Q squared divided by q squared eliminates. Here's where it gets interesting. 32 divided by 2 is 16. Notice I put a fraction bar because q divided by q squared, well, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Well, q to the negative 1 makes that q go to the bottom. So our final answer is 4 minus 16 over q. So we got to be careful, and make sure we follow the same rules all along. If it's negative, it's got to go to the other side of the fraction bar. And then finally, 9 divided by 3 is 3. C to the 4th divided by c squared is c squared. 6 divided by 3 is 2. C cubed divided by c squared is c. And then here's where it gets interesting. This is a 1. Well, 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. C squared divided by c squared is c to the 0. Well, anything to the 0 power is equal to 1. So we leave it alone. And that's our final answer. All right. So on your worksheet, and I'm going to go back and look at the lesson plan here. It says to complete all. So 1 through 15 and 1 through 12 covers the multiplication and division. Now what I want to point out though is if you look carefully at the worksheet, some of these are going to require you to distribute twice and then combine like terms. So make sure you're following all of the rules. When you're done with these, go ahead and check with me before you move on to the second set. So if you're doing these at home, you're probably going to have to stop at this point, because before you move on to the last set of problems, I want to make sure that you understand how to distribute and how to divide using the reverse distribution. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video now, complete the first 2 sections of the worksheet, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so if you've been successful at using the distributive property to multiply a monomial by a polynomial, you can use the distributive property to multiply a polynomial by a polynomial. You distribute each term in the first polynomial to the second, and then you combine like terms. And that's why I also had you doing that on the other section. So my first term in this is y. I'm going to distribute that to the y and to the negative 3. Y times y is y squared. Y times negative 3 is negative 3y. Now I'm going to distribute the 8. The 8 gets distributed to the y, and the positive 8 gets distributed to the negative 3. So now I have to decide what are my like terms in this expression. Well, it's negative 3y and positive 8y. So I rewrite, using the rules we learned earlier in the week, y squared plus 5y minus 24. And that's our final answer. Just to make sure you guys understand it a little, again, we're going to do it here. We have the c, sorry about that. I want to make sure I'm still recording. We have the c, we want to distribute c to c, c to 8. C times c is c squared. C times 8 is 8c. Now we're going to distribute the positive 2. 2 times c is 2c. 2 times 8 is 16. So c squared, we're going to combine like terms, and that's our final answer. To make sure that you understand it, I want you to go ahead and do these 2 problems, and then pause the video, and then check them after you unpause. Okay, so hopefully you were able to understand 5x times 2x, 10x squared, negative 40x, 5x times negative 8. Now, distribute the negative 4. Negative 8x plus 32. You combine the terms in the middle. There's your answer. Correct answer for the second one is 3x squared minus 13x minus 30. Now, a couple of things that can come up that are kind of like exceptions is a polynomial squared. This means that there are two. So you rewrite the problem with 2, and then you simplify. So whenever you see x plus 3 squared, you're going to rewrite that problem as x plus 3 times x plus 3. And then you can use what we talked about in the previous sections. 2p minus 5 times 2p minus 5. So now if I'm going to solve it, I'm going to distribute x squared plus 3x. I do the plus 3 plus 3x plus 9. Combine the middle, x squared plus 6x plus 9. 2p times 2p, 4p squared. 2p times negative 5, negative 10p. Negative 5 times 2p, negative 10p. Negative 5 times negative 5 plus 25. Combine the middle, 4p squared minus 20p plus 25. So that's one exception. The other exception is when you have a positive and a negative number on the back side of the parentheses and it's the same number. Let's watch what happens. X squared minus 5x plus 5x minus 25. What happens when I combine these two? Start to cancel out. So my final answer is x squared minus 25. Don't confuse that with the front. When you see 1, you've got to double up. You're going to have a term in the middle. It's when the same number is negative and positive that you're going to be able to eliminate the term in the middle. So let's again just double check this. 9y squared minus 6y plus 6y minus 4. Combine the like terms in the middle, they eliminate. 9y squared minus 4. Okay, that completes the notes for this section. Go ahead and finish 1 through 14 on the back of the notes. When you're done, check it with me, and you'll be ready to move on to the project and the take-home quiz.